What's up, everybody? I pray that you've had an awesome day and an awesome week. Just wanted to come to you real quick with a quick devotion. We started a series on the book of James here at the church Wednesday night. And chapter 27 of Proverbs, verse 1 is right, that this truth, and almost verbatim, James kind of quotes Solomon here, which the book of James is referred to as the Proverbs of the New Testament. And so it just kind of got me thinking, and I just wanted to bring your attention to these verses and show you some truths in it and hopefully give you something to think about. So let's look at it. Proverbs 27 verses 1 and 2. The writer said, "Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth." And if you remember, James said, life is but a vapor, it peereth for a little while. But he also made reference to not boasting of tomorrow because you don't know what comes. Well, then you've got verse 2, and I like this. "Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth, a stranger, and not thine own lips." So verse 1, he says, don't boast of yourself of tomorrow. Bragging about what you're going to do. I'm getting ready to do, and how we do, how we talk. And maybe not you, maybe not myself all the time, but we have, and we know people that are very arrogant and always talking about what they're going to do in the future and this and that. So Solomon says, don't be boasting of tomorrow, because number one, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Isn't that right? I mean, you and I have lived long enough to know that no matter what our plan is for the next day, it may or may not work out. Who knows what's going to happen? One phone call, one, wrong turn, anything can change the course of our life. Just one moment. I think it's Brother Rich that preached on the awesome power of one moment. One thing can alter your life forever. And so it's kind of dangerous. Now, we should be prudent. The scripture is not teaching us that we shouldn't think about tomorrow in the terms of going to work or building or saving, or, there are some things that we need to do that are wise decisions to help us build a productive life. There's nothing wrong with all of that. But it is this complete faith, number one, in ourselves, that we're going to will ourselves alive and to rise the next day. And then there's the arrogance of believing that life is really in our hands when it's not. It's God that keeps our heart beating. It's God that makes the blood pulse through our veins. And so there has to be a humility there and a continuous reverence toward God, because we know that it's Him that is sustaining us. So we don't know what a day is what's going to bring. And the scripture in the New Testament told us that we need to pray or tell people, if it be the Lord's will, then we'll do this or that. Again, because we don't know what tomorrow's going to hold. And if I tell you that I'm going to be at your house at 1 o'clock, well, I might. That's my plan. That's what I'm going to try to, make happen. But who knows what's going to happen between here and there. So we just really need to live a life of, dependency on God and His will, and let Him direct us. But he's dealing with arrogance, he's dealing with pride. And then verse 2, he makes it a little bit more personal. And he says, let another man praise you. Let not thine own mouth, or don't boast on yourself. You don't have to tell people how great you are. You don't have to go around and tell people that you're this or that. You don't have to tell people you're a Christian. Your life ought to show it. You shouldn't have to tell people that you love Jesus. It ought to show. I mean, you can tell people, and I think that we should. But what I'm trying to tell you is there's a lot of people that are, I guess, thirsty for approval. They're thirsty for a pat on the back. You see it all the time on Facebook. I wish I was pretty. I mean, crazy little posts like that. Facebook really reveals a lot about people. Nobody loves me. I got a little song I sing around the house. It's my whole family knows it, and so when I start singing it, it's just like a big old, I don't know what, a 7 or a 6 people start singing it, whatever that is. I guess that's a choir. But I go around and I say, nobody loves me, everybody hates me, I'm so sad. And it's just a chorus of people now. And don't ask me, just cutting up, trying to poor mouth everybody into getting me some coffee, or poor mouth them into whatever, And so that's the little song that we sing. That's people, and they're like that in real life. I don't know how I'm going to make it through the day. My toenail fell off. I mean, I just weird people, weird stuff. But if we're not real careful, we'll find these same things inside of us, right? It may be in a lesser degree, but we're always putting ourselves out there wanting somebody to, or we're always trying to convince somebody of how humble we are, how great we are. The Bible tells us just to live your life and people will notice. You don't have to tell anybody who you are or what you are. You don't have to tell. He says if you'll do what you're supposed to, humble yourself, walk this thing out, he said somebody else will praise you. He said, don't do it with your own mouth. You ain't got to tell everybody what you've done. And that's one of the things too. As a pastor, I see it a lot. I mean, people will do good things, but they just have to have everybody know it, They just have to tell everybody what they did. They buy something for a food pantry. Everybody's got to know it. And if you don't pat them on the back and say thank you, which I think we should say thank you, but really, you bring food to the food pantry, you're not really doing me a service. You're blessing the community and you're working for God. But people seem to want, approbation on everything. And it's just a dangerous place to be. We need to be humble servants and do what God has called us to do. And it doesn't matter if anybody recognizes us. We know that God recognizes us. But the beauty of this text is if we humble ourselves, God will exalt us. And other people will see the greatness that God is doing inside of you. And when the due season is there, somebody's going to say, hey, she's doing a great job. And I guess the bottom line that I want to bring out here is there's an issue with us, with our character, when we have to be noticed. And so we need to put a check on that. So live a life where other people praise you. Live a life where other people, a stranger, will speak well of you, okay? Don't live a life that you feel like someone has always got to be telling you how great you are and all the good things you're doing. Let somebody else do that. And, you can kind of check your heart. Make sure you don't have any pride, no arrogance. Those things creep into us real easy. And I cut up with people sometimes, but we love ourselves way too much. And you've heard those people say, well, I hate myself. And I'm like, if you hate yourself, why are you so upset because somebody's talked about you? If you hated yourself, if someone was talking about you, it actually make you happy. If you hated yourself and someone was, somebody walked out on you and didn't want to be in a relationship with you anymore, you'd be like fist pumping because that's great. You hate yourself and you want people to mistreat you and abuse you and talk about you and lie on you. But we don't hate ourselves. We just, again, those type of comments are made to draw attention. And so next time you see somebody saying, I wish I was pretty, it might do them some good to say, I wish you was too. No. We just got to guard ourselves, guys. It's real easy to pour mouth. It's real easy to feel like we're the centerpiece of all of humanity and all of the universe, and everyone should know us, It's just kind of crazy how we are. Nobody loves me. Oh, here's my favorite one. Everybody's talking about me. And I'm like, there's only like 12 people on the planet that even know your name. Everybody's not talking about you. There's not a conspiracy, a worldwide conspiracy. They're writing a movie about you right now. You're so extremely important that the whole world is against you. Everything is falling apart. I cut up with my wife sometimes. She says basically anything that she really loves, they quit making it. Like she liked Bliss chocolate. Way better than Dove, so I would buy her Bliss, all the time. Well, they quit making that. And then there was like a cereal that she loved, and they quit making that. And so we were standing at the produce aisle, and something else that she really loves, they quit making it. It was a type of ice cream, this chocolate peanut butter. And she said, I loved it, so it had to go out. And I said, shh, we're standing next to the celery and the produce. If you say it out loud, they'll quit making it. So we just kind of cut up about that. There's not a worldwide conspiracy. You're not that important. I'm not that important. Not to people anyway. But we are important to God. And that's what we need to remember. Just get your who you are from Him. Get your identity from Him. Let God reward you. Seek His approval. It's kind of hypocritical for me to say these things, because we really do need to feel loved. I mean, it's a part of our essential needs. We need to feel wanted. So I'm not saying that shouldn't ever happen, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's just live a life and let's work and do the things of God in such a way that other people will praise us and notice the good and the greatness of us and what God is doing in us, rather, is what I'm saying. So anyway, hope and pray that this kind of lightens your day up a little bit, challenges you a little bit, makes you do some inward examinations. Hey, I love you. I'll talk to you next time.